Hey everybody, I am bundled up right now. It is freezing outside and I haven't warmed up yet, so I'm going to stay in my jacket. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. I want to talk today about, our Hoerner happy hour today is about how to teach to all different fitness levels. So I was going to describe this as different ages, different, sizes, all that good stuff. Obviously there's a big, hey Matt, long time no see. Hey Josette. Obviously, there's a big variety of the kind of people we'll get in our classes, but really what matters to us is the fitness level. So I think the biggest tip I can give here is just to always talk as if there's someone brand new in class. So often, I know a lot of us use Mind Body and we can see who's brand new to class, right? You can see that little green star. If you don't use Mind Body, you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Basically, you're able to tell who's new. The problem with this is that we think if there's no green star, then people are good. They understand how class works. This is not always the case. First of all, systems don't always work. So there might be someone new that doesn't show up as new, but also someone who's come, maybe twice before, maybe 5 times, maybe they still don't necessarily know all the basics. So repeating all the basics at the beginning of class, making sure people have their bike set up correctly, making sure that they understand the different positions and how form is properly presented in those positions. All of that stuff I think is very important to always reiterate at the beginning of class. The other thing that you can do is obviously if you have a big class, this is difficult. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my coloring. There we go. If you have a big class, it's always going to be tougher to keep an eye on these people. But if you know someone's newer or relatively new, try to get them to sit somewhere where you can see them and you can watch them. Granted, newer people usually are terrified of the front row, but if you can convince them, one, that it doesn't, anyone can sit in the front row. I hope that's how your studio works. I know some places drives me crazy. You can't sit in the front row unless you're really good at spin, whatever. Disagree with that. But if you're able to get them to sit somewhere where you can see them so that during class, if you notice that they need a little bit of a different cue or something like that, that would be a great way to help them along. Now, the other thing, something that I hear a lot in terms of teaching to different fitness levels, recently I heard this at another studio. Somebody said the class wasn't hard enough. So I'm a big believer in the fact that spin is totally adjustable for the fitness level, whatever it may be. So if someone says the class was too hard or not hard enough, it usually comes down to us as instructors not coaching well. We need to be able to coach people to make it hard for themselves, right? To make it a challenge for themselves, but maybe the person next to them has a different defined challenge. So we have to be able to cue and describe our road, our resistance, all of that stuff in a way that gets every person to the place that they need to be at, which is very tricky, right? It's one of the hardest things we have to do as instructors. But I think what it comes down to is just understanding that when you speak, it needs to be very descriptive and not necessarily specific. So what does that mean? Don't give a specific gear number, for example. Not everyone is going to find the same road at the same gear. So me, versus, let's say, a 200-pound dude next to me who's super fit, maybe he's a boxer, I don't know, whatever, super different, right? We're not going to have the same heavy hill. It's not going to be the same number. It's not going to be the same number of turns, whatever it is that you describe. So I would always recommend describing the road as best you can in words, and also maybe giving a range if that helps, but in terms of gears, but just making sure you describe what it should feel like, because that is key in helping people find the right place. So if I, for example, am on a very heavy hill and I see someone's legs moving pretty fast, we know that they're not in the right spot, right? So I'll cue to make sure, it's sticky and it's heavy and they have enough under their pedals that they're meeting the slow beat where it is. So, because we ride to the beat. I don't know if you do, but it's just another way. So things like that, and being able to coach so that it's hard for the individual person is tricky, but very important when we're teaching to many different fitness levels. Now, this is a cool thing, guys. Don't let it intimidate you. The fact that spin is able to get such a range of people in a classroom and everyone still has a great time and a great workout, that to me is a really powerful thing. And I think everyone can learn from each other and be inspired by one another. So it's kind of a cool aspect of what we do. But just remember that when you walk in the room, keep in your head that maybe Susie is brand new. It's her first or second time. And then maybe Jeff has come every day for the last 3 years, and you got to teach to both of them, right? So if we keep that in our head and we remember that there's a variety of people in the room, it helps us when we're actually queuing, because that'll be one of your thoughts, right? I don't know if that made any sense, but hopefully it did. So let me know if you guys have specific idea. For some reason I can't see your comments, but if there are any, or if you guys have any suggestions on this, I'd love to hear them. I'm sure your crewbies would. So if there's a certain way that you try to coach to different fitness levels, or there's something in particular that you do that helps you do this, let us know. Write it in the comments. Tag me so I can see it, because I'd love to see it, and share the wealth with your crew. Okay, that's all for me. I could talk about this for a long time, but I want to keep it short, as always. And I'm looking for new topics for next week. So if you guys have any questions or things you want to talk about for Hoerner Happy Hour next week, let me know. Again, post in the comments or post it in the crew, and I'll check it out. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I hope it gets warmer than it is here. See you later.